Hey, I'm your host, Jen Wheeler, and this is the Healthy Her podcast. I'm a teacher, author, and foodie who went from being addicted to sugar, skipping meals, and struggling to get in control of my eating, to someone who is 10 kilos down, eats all the yummy foods without restriction, and is finally in control of my hunger. I'm obsessed with helping other health-conscious women ditch the confusion and overwhelm so they can cultivate healthy eating habits and truly thrive. The Healthy Her podcast was created to give you real talk about healthy eating, as well as easy, actionable tips that fit seamlessly into your busy lifestyle. I'm not just your host. Think of me as your healthy eating hype gal, your personal cheerleader as we chat all things healthy eating, weight loss, and mindset mastery, so you can become the healthiest, happiest version of you. So if you're ready to ditch the guilt, reclaim your confidence, and unlock the very best version of you, then you're in the right place. So let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Healthy Her podcast. I just love this time of the year. Like, I love the mornings. It's nice and warm when you wake up. Like, I'm feeling good. I've done my workout, had a healthy breakfast. I'm just feeling really good today and ready to record today's podcast episode for you. So I hope that you're feeling the same. I hope that no matter where or when you're listening to this, that you are feeling good. You've been taking care of yourself and trying to show up for yourself in any way that you can. Today's topic is a juicy one. Now, this word of consistency and consistently comes up a lot. And there are so many misconceptions and misunderstandings about what consistency is and what eating healthy consistently looks like, and also what working out consistently actually looks like. So in today's podcast episode, we're going to be talking all about, well, what does healthy eating consistently really mean as a busy woman, and how do we achieve it? Because knowledge is power. And once you understand what consistency truly means and how you can achieve it as a busy woman, it becomes something that is doable. Because, like I said, it is a word that is thrown around so much in this space. It's like, well, I need to be more consistent. And I'm sure you said it yourself. You're like, well, I can go to the gym for a while, but then I quit, or I'll eat healthy for a while and then I'll quit. Like, I'm really struggling with being more consistent. And you sort of get stuck in this trap of thinking, well, I need more to be consistent. And you actually don't need more. You just need to understand what consistency actually is and what it looks like for today's busy modern woman, so that it can actually become something that is doable. So here's the thing. We think as busy women that consistency looks something like this, okay? It looks like 5 days a week of workouts, whether that's Pilates, gyms, whatever you're into, whatever you enjoy doing. It's 10K steps perfectly, 10K perfect steps every single day. It's a high protein breakfast. It's having a healthy dinner. It's hitting your calories and your macros perfectly every single day. That is what we think consistency looks like as busy women. And the truth is, it's actually not. We mistake consistency for perfection as busy women. Big mistake, because it's not. Consistency is not being perfect, and that's what we think. We think that it's the perfect workouts, it's the perfect meal plan, it's the perfect day of eating, and that is not reality for anyone, let alone a busy woman that is working, a mum, has kids, family, other commitments. It's just not what consistency looks like for us. And that's why we fail. Like, it's so important that you understand why you're not being consistent with your healthy habits, okay? It's not that you don't have motivation. It's not that you're disciplined. It's just that you're missing this knowledge piece, this understanding of what being consistent actually looks like for today's woman. That's the part that you're missing, okay? Because what happens is that every time, you have this, like, let's say 3 or 4 days, usually I find for most people, you can do something perfectly for about 3 or 4 days and then something happens. Something always happened to put a block or to put a stop to your consistency and to your perfect 3 or 4 days. Sometimes you might get a week out if you're lucky, but I've found like usually it's 3 or 4 days that you can do something perfectly. And then after that, it falls off track. And then what happens is you think, well, I didn't do it consistently, so I'll stop. I didn't do it consistently. I didn't do it perfectly, and I can't do it perfectly now for the next few days until the week finishes, so I'll just stop. Being consistent, eating healthy consistently, working out consistently, drinking water consistently, meal prepping consistently, hitting your calories consistently does not mean it's perfect. I really want to stress that one. Consistency is not perfection, and that is the huge mistake that we make as women. Okay? It's not perfect, and it's never going to be perfect. It's really kind of something that you have to accept. I definitely did. It's something that you kind of have to accept that I'm not going to be able to do this healthy eating and wellness and weight loss thing perfectly every single day. Take a step back and literally say that to yourself. I'm not going to be able to do this thing perfectly every single day, but I can do it consistently, and I can still show up, and I can still succeed, and I can still get the results that I want. Okay? But it is a mindset shift, and it is because we've been taught that healthy eating is perfection. And that's because there's challenges and there's all these quick fixes out there. And it's like, well, you lock in, you do it hard, you do it perfectly, you do it really well, and then you stop. And that's the issue, is that so many women that I work with and meet through the membership and chatting online and through my DMs and emails and all those kind of things, they've done all of those things. They've tried to do it perfectly. And yes, they may have lost a couple of kilos, but I can just about guarantee you that every single one of them that I've worked with or spoken with says, I've lost the same 5 kilos over and over for the past like 10 years. They lose it, they put it back on. They lose it, they put it back on. And they just repeat this cycle. And that's because every time you sign up for a quick fix, every time you sign up for a challenge, every time that you sign up for just something that's short term, it's that understanding in your brain that you're like, I'm going to do this thing perfectly for this certain amount of time. And then after that, I'm going to stop. And that's why you get stuck in this weight loss, weight gain, weight loss, weight gain, weight loss, weight gain pattern, because you do the thing, you're really consistent and you do it really perfectly, and it's really good for that 4 weeks or 6 weeks or 8 weeks or even 12 weeks, whatever you signed up for. And then after that, you can't do it perfectly anymore, because that's what reality is. No one can eat perfectly. Nobody. I don't know anyone that can eat perfectly for that period of time for the rest of their life and never have an off day or an imperfect day or an imperfect week, because it's just not life. It's just not reality. And it's certainly not reality for today's busy modern woman. And being stuck in that, putting the weight on, losing it, putting the weight on and losing it, because you just get stuck. You're thinking, what's wrong with me? Why can't I make this work? And it's just because you haven't been taught what consistency looks like. You haven't been taught how to be healthy, how to get a healthy meal, how to show up for your workouts when you've got all of this other stuff going on in your life, work commitments, sick kids, sporting stuff, all these other things that you have to do as a woman, things that you have to fit into your life. Anything that you have done has only ever taught you that you have to do it perfectly in order to succeed. And that's where I want to completely change your thinking over this. Completely. I want you to start to think in a completely different way about consistency, about what it looks like, and how you're actually going to show up from here on in. And like I said, we think that consistency is perfection, okay? And we beat ourselves up because you say, like, you started on the Monday, it comes to Sunday, and you're like, okay, well, I planned on doing 5 workouts and I only did 1. I was going to do 10K steps every single day and I only got 7 or 8 each day. And can you see how you start to like downplay your actual efforts because it wasn't perfect, because it didn't fit the box of what you consider to be perfect, and you start to actually downplay your efforts? Whereas when I hear a woman telling me about that, or someone in the membership and they're telling me these things, I'm like, hang on a second, like, can you just take a step back? Have a listen to this. You've done this. You did 7 or 8K steps. You did a gym workout. You've done these things. You didn't do it perfectly, but you did them. you did them consistently. And that's the thing. It's this mindset that we're stuck in, that consistency equals doing it perfectly. And the second that you can shift your brain out of that, you will start to see all of the incredible, amazing things that you are actually doing, that you downplay every single day and every single week because it wasn't, and I'm doing like air commas here, perfect. Okay, perfect doesn't exist. And so that's where I really want to shift your thinking about what consistency means for you and starting to change the way that you look at it. Because like I said, I guarantee that you're probably doing a lot of really awesome things for your weight loss, for your health, for your wellness, for your body, for your flexibility, for your strength. You're doing all of these incredible things, but because it's not perfect, you downplay it and you just like diminish and downplay any efforts and any awesome things that you've done that day or that week. So really start to shift out of that mindset and start to actually focus on the things that you are doing instead of those things that you aren't doing perfectly, because consistency is not perfection. Something that really helped me, and I'm hoping that this is going to help you too, is that consistency at its actual very core, like the core meaning of that word, is repetition. Okay, it's repeating of set behaviors, habits, and actions over time. It is not implementing them perfectly. Okay, so I'm going to say that again just so you can hear it one more time. So consistency, being consistent, means repeating or repetition. So it's repeating a set of behaviors or actions over time. It is not doing them perfectly. Okay, and that's the mindset shift that I really want you to take from today's podcast episode. So we've talked about what is consistency. We've talked about what we think it looks like. We've talked about what it actually isn't. So if we're thinking of our week or our day, what does consistency look like? Okay, what could it look like as a busy woman? Here are some examples just so you can really start to shift your mindset around this. So Monday, I did a gym workout. Okay, I had a high protein breakfast and I had a healthy dinner for me and my family. Tuesday was really hectic. I had a high protein breakfast. I did about 6K steps and I drank my water.
Hello, my name is Clem and I have lost 10.5 kilos in total, which is so exciting. I am a member of the Healthy Hype Gal membership and I have absolutely loved every minute. I cannot tell you how much this program has changed my life. Jen is amazing. All of the girls in the community are amazing. It is just incredible. And I am so grateful for everything that it has offered.
Wednesday, I had a sick kid, so I couldn't go to the gym. I had to work. I also had to all of these deadlines and things that I had to meet with work, so I had no time. So when I got home, I ended up just taking the dog for a walk after work. I drank my water, made myself a healthy lunch. Can you hear how there's no perfection in the examples that I'm giving you? There's none. Okay? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's 3 days that I just gave you. Did you hear anything in there that was perfect? That there was the perfect workout, the perfect eating, the perfect drinking, the perfect moving? It wasn't. But I hope that you heard from those 3 days that I did give you that you can hear that there is consistency in there. There's no perfection, but there is consistency. I did some of the things and I did some of my healthy habits every single day. Even though I didn't do them perfectly, I would certainly not say that was 3 days of perfect, but I did them consistently. I did some of them repeatedly over time. And that is the mistake that we make as women. We think that I need to hit my calories perfectly to lose weight. I need to, if you're trying to lose weight and you're tracking your calories and you're doing really well, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday you have a bit of a blowout. So what? Does it mean that you quit? Does it mean that you weren't being consistent for those other few days? No, it doesn't. It just means that you go, oh, well, made a crappy choice, had a big blowout, ate the Tim Tams on the couch. Does it really matter? No. I'm going to just move on at my next meal or at the next day. Okay. But again, that's the mindset that we get stuck in, that it's like, well, I did it for 3 or 4 days really well. And then I've had this huge blowout and I've eaten all this food and I've undone all of my hard work. No, you haven't. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. The only thing that is going to undo all of your hard work is if at that moment and in that point that you quit, that you go, well, I couldn't do it perfectly and I've now stuffed it up. So I'm just going to quit and I'll start again on Monday, or I'll start again next month. That's the stuff that keeps you stuck. Okay. It's oh, well, hang on a second. Let's take that step back like we did earlier and go, you know what? She did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I did them really great. Like they weren't perfect, but I've moved my body every day. I've tried to get my protein at my 3 main meals. I've really tried really hard with my calories and focusing on what I'm eating. Celebrate that. Focus on that. Okay. Because it's this needing for it to be perfect and it to look a certain way that is keeping you stuck. Okay. I bang on about this on the podcast all the time. I don't eat perfectly every single day. I do not do all of my healthy habits perfectly every single day. I do have like non-negotiables where I'm like, they're like the bare minimum of what I will do every single day in order to take care of myself. But no day is perfect, because that's life. That's reality, especially for women. And it's really important that we start to flip our thinking on this consistency part. It's not being perfect. It's not doing perfectly. It's showing up, repeating. So every time you think to yourself, oh, but I'm not doing this consistently enough and it's not going to work and I'm not being consistent enough, just ask yourself, are you repeating those behaviors in some way every single day across your week? I mean, if you're doing something on one day and then nothing for the next 10 days, then that's not repeating. That's not repeating. That's not going to get you that consistency piece. If you are doing something small every single day, that is the consistency. That is the repetition. And I know that when you're in that moment and that small thing and you're like, oh, okay, well, I had a high protein breakfast, or I drank my water this morning, like, great, whoopee, that's not going to help me lose all of this weight. Those small things that you do every single day, so that repetition piece, that repetition of repeating those small daily habits every single day has a compounding effect over time. So in that moment, you may not see the results that you want. Okay. It's highly likely that you won't. Over time, those small daily habits and those small things that you do every single day add up, even if you can't see it in that moment. Okay. So please don't ever downplay your efforts. Please don't ever just go, oh, but I didn't do that enough this week. I didn't do that perfectly each week. Perfection keeps you stuck and gets you nowhere. And that's the truth. Okay. It's just going to keep you stuck and in that loop of do it perfectly for a while, lock in, do it hard, do it bang on. You're going to feel really proud and really good. And the second that your day doesn't go to plan, and the second that you can't eat perfectly, or you've got to go through the drive-through and get a takeaway because something's happened or your car's broken down or whatever the thing is, you're a mess and you're going to fall apart and you're going to quit on yourself and you're just not going to try, and you're going to go, okay, well, I'll just give up now and I'll just try next week, or I'll try later. You want to change this pattern that you're in and these things that keep you stuck, and it's that perfection that is keeping you stuck. So as you go about your week this week, I really want you to think about switching that mindset, okay? So if Friday or Saturday rolls around and you're going, oh, but like I wasn't consistent enough this week and I didn't really do it perfectly, take a step back and go, hang on a second. Monday, but you know what? I actually did get a workout in. Tuesday, yeah, you know what? On Tuesday, I made myself a healthy lunch instead of buying a takeaway at the cafe down the road from work. Those small things are consistency. Those small things are repetition. Do them over and over, repeat them, do something every single day. They have a compounding effect and they will get you to where you want to go. Like I said, as women, we just so overcomplicate this whole thing and make it way harder than it needs to be. Strip it back, get back to basics and start thinking, hang on a second, you know what? I was actually consistent this week because I repeated some things every single day. Okay, I didn't quit. Okay, quitting is not consistency. Quitting is not repetition. Showing up and doing something every single day is what consistency as a busy woman looks like in this 2026. That's exactly what it looks like. It's not perfect, it's up, it's down, but as long as you're doing something every single day, that is you being consistent. And this is the unfortunate thing with like trying to lose weight and trying to create healthy habits and things like that. It's all of this stuff that holds us back. Okay. So the thing holding you back is because you want everything to be perfect. And the second that you can tell yourself that I don't need to do this perfectly in order to succeed is when you will start to succeed. Okay. But like I said, it's all these things and it's all this stuff that no one tells us about as women. No one tells us that we think we need to eat perfectly in order to do it consistently. And so that's why we keep failing and we keep getting stuck in these yo-yo dieting cycles, because knowledge is power. And once you understand this stuff and once you understand those patterns and that thinking that's been stuck with you for all of these years, it opens up like a treasure box and everything becomes doable, everything becomes achievable, and you can finally start to see a clear path ahead. Like it just stops being complicated and overwhelming and all these things, because you can go, okay, I didn't do it perfectly this week, but if I take a step back, I was actually consistent this week and I'm really proud of the way I've shown up and I am really proud of my efforts. So don't forget to look at the repetition rather than the perfection, because that is your key to lasting success. Thank you so much for joining me all in today's podcast episode, and I'll see you in our next episode of The Healthy Her. Thank you so much for tuning in to another empowering episode of the Healthy Her podcast. If you enjoyed today's chat and found it helpful, hitting that follow or subscribe button would be amazing, because your support means the world to me. Come connect with me on Instagram @TheActiveBod for your daily dose of inspiration and for loads of new easy meal ideas. Take care and keep thriving. See you next week.